The buff program is alive! It's alive! Ha 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 ha! I was going to go more kind of like into like the Frankenstein monster thing, but it's alive! Yes! So, what's... if you remember, you might not, right? Sometimes people message me and they go, Rich, did you hear about this? And it's like, chances are, like, I've done a video on it. But I did a video on this particular subject. So, 3 weeks ago, I put out a video going, the buff program 2023, the buff program, rebalance the new, neglect the old. And it was basically looking at the fact that there was no update on the buff program. And don't I look like a silly ass right now? I guess I do. But I didn't know. That's the thing is, I did not know that Kabam, after months and months and months and months of neglect, were actually doing more when it comes to the buff program. I'm really considering it. Well, I don't know if it's like, you know, a lot of factors when it comes to like community pressure and other stuff. Kind of made them think like, well, we should really be doing some old champion buffs. And it is really needed still. I think if I go back to like a video, there's a video I created a long time ago. You might remember, hopefully people do, because sometimes like when I talk about stuff, like I'm really hoping that people have seen those particular videos. And one particular video, I said that at a current trajectory, if I can speak properly, and at that particular time, Kabam would need to buff at least, I think it was 2 champions per month, and will be done with the buff program by 2023. Hello everybody, it's 2023. The buff program is not done. It is barely started. So there's a lot of champions that you might look at. If you click, like I'm going to do now, is I'm going to click on 6 stars, for example. I'm going to put rank 1. Don't judge me. There are some champions that I'm just not ranking up at the moment, and that's because I don't have plans for them. Believe it or not, it's difficult to explain to the community sometimes. If you don't have a plan around what you want to rank up, why you want to rank up, and what purpose you want to serve, it's a problem, because it's not a god tier. You aren't ranking up. Why aren't you ranking up? Any case, drama aside, if you go down to your rank 1s, chances are there will be certain champions that you'll see that are not in a buff program, aren't getting buffed. Would love them to be buffed. Yeah, I've got to put Joe Fix It up. Again, another story for another day. But there are going to be certain champions like Red Skull, Slightly Karnak, Wolverine X23. Sentry is a long story. Psylocke, Iron Fist, Agent Venom-ish, but again, don't push it on synergies, really. If you go, no, but I'm good with that synergy. Like, no, it's got to be about singular champions on their own. Daredevil, as in the OG Daredevil, Daredevil Classic, whatever you want to call it. Elektra, Winter Soldier-ish. Yeah, pretty much Winter Soldier. Both Cyclopses, to be brutally honest. Then you've got, I suppose, Darkhawk, unless he's heavily awakened. And a few other ones that just don't function on a solo aspect. Kamala Khan, Luke Cage could do Dormammu for sure. Classic Captain Marvel. Doctor Strange. The list goes on. Essentially, there's more than 10 champions that I've maimed. I've maimed them apparently. Named off the top right there. So it's been a really kind of crazy time. But we were given this glimmer of hope in the month of September. The month that we are halfway through, and even though it feels like it's been a month already. So, as a lot of you know, Iron Man was buffed. And as you can see, we've done plenty of content on the channel on Iron Man, his rework, and how he's functioned. I have done some Iron Man. And I actually like the buff. I think it's a really good buff. I think I've rank 3'd him as well, and I'm going to use him in the future. But I've got a lot of techs that do similar things, which is always a problem when you've got champions that theoretically do exactly the same thing. There's some uniqueness to about him, but it's like, well, I've got champions that do certain things that are like him, somewhat better. You know, I like using... If I was to go in any fight against a mutant, I probably would either use Infamous Iron Man or Omega Sentinel over Iron Man. No disrespect to the champion, but then it's like, again, there's certain elements, like if I was going against a Sauron, then I probably would use my Iron Man. There's like those It's different strokes for different folks and different occasions for different champions. But it looks like with the Iron Man buff and this kind of new kind of rhetoric that Kabam are kind of going with, then there's more hope with the system of the buff program system. So to be example, and it did inspire this particular forum thread, which did lead to some interesting things as well, and of course plenty of things that we've even mentioned. You know, Winter Soldier, both Cyclops, both Caps, Captain Marvel Classic, Miss Marvel. Oh, I forgot about Miss Marvel. Superior Iron Man, Groot, Iron Patriot. Oh, I forgot about Groot. Drax. And the list goes on. I mean, there's a good list there by Bull Muckett. That's exactly it. That's a fantastic list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. And even then, like if Kabam buffed all those champions in a year, that they could do that. That they could theoretically do that. But I mean, here's a startling thing. If Kabam were only kind of making 5 reworks a year, let's say, did Kabam actually do 5 reworks a year? Let's say Kabam in 12 months do 5 reworks. 5 buffs of old champions. Of those, did we say 25? Then, oh my word. That's 5 years to complete the buff program. It was 5 years to get those champions up to speed. That's very, very annoying. But at the same time, that may be something that Kabam want to do. Flush out 2 new champions a month, or 1 new one, 1 old one, rework, and they could up that. You know, they could be done in 2 years rather than 5 years. So it gets worse. It's like it's hard to know what Kabam are going to do about the buff program, and will they do like they did this month? The problem is it's always down to money, isn't it? That's the thing. And even Kabam, when they responded to this particular thread back a little while ago, where is it? I need to find the thread. There's the catch-22 with it, and unfortunately, it does boil down to money on it. So Kabam Mike said back on September 5th, so start of the month, let's get one out first, see how it does before we jump on to the next. This is a big departure for us, and it's not guaranteed to happen again. Also, why is everybody all over Super Iron Man? There's like a million good comments. We just did an Iron Man. It's just not the point. There's a lot of people have a 6-star version, and it's just different. It's different. Cosmic. If I find the comic book somewhere, I think I got the Superior Iron Man comic book and really enjoyed it. I mean, I do find it weird that like the OG Iron Man was used, but at the same time, I'm like, this is good. Like a lot of players have the champion, and it's kind of there, and it's kind of such a big character. So I think what Kabam should do is focus on, from that list that we saw, let's get that list actually, popular characters within the comic books. Because if they go down that particular route, if they go down Doctor Strange, he's popular, Groot, somewhat popular, everything else is then difficult, isn't it? Loki, popular. Loki would be a fantastic rework for 2 months' time when the show's out. Is that right? Or was it next month? If they time that in just with the show, just a happy coincidence. They don't have to do it for the show, but I'm saying if they roll it out at the same time, just imagine. Like again, it's just down to sale. They get people interested, invested in. You know, people would look to get the 7-star version, pump out the 7-star Paragon crystals, the featured Paragon crystals. That is, because that's the biggest thing. I saw Kabam say that it was about performance, and look, that performance always means money. Right, and that's a sad thing when it comes to this game, when it comes to money. So I can imagine Wales out there would be interested to get 7-star versions, and that's why they pump to get the Paragon Crystal versions of them. So I'm sure Kabam will make money from it. I think it's a no-brainer to kind of go, look, you do something that is good for those that have the 5-star versions, the 6-star versions, maybe even the 4-star versions, you know, in their particular rosters. You know, but appease those that want to spend money in the game. Do special bundles. Like, this is the thing that Kabam did, like bundles at the same time. Spender's got to spend, and as you can see on screen, this is from the Iron Man rank up bundles? Yes, Iron Man rank up bundles. So if you pump them out for the people that spend, you know, they're going to be interested in stuff like this. And I don't think anybody has this like problem against spenders. It's just a case of like, look, what are just regular players getting from this? And if regular players are just getting their 5 stars and 6 stars buffed, hell yeah. But if there's an opportunity for people to spend. I mean, people can spend units and get. I've seen people as well, free-to-play players, go in and spend on Paragon crystals, as in units, the free units that they've got, and getting 7 stars. So fair play, you know, that's the thing. But it goes a bit further because recently the announcement was that they're going to do Red Skull, so that's good. That's good news. Like, this is the thing I take away from this, is that Red Skull is having a rework. Well, buff. Yeah. So whether or not it's going to be, improving that. But this is what I want to see from Kabam, is kind of like more emphasis on reworking and buffing old champions, because a lot of people have these kind of duff champions that they're doing nothing with. More at 6-star than 7-star, but 7 stars are too new at the moment to find any kind of like power or rank issues in inequality yet. They are seen in competitive modes like Battlegrounds, slightly with Alliance Wars, but players want to focus on those 6 stars at the moment. 6 stars are kind of still relevant at the moment. 5 stars, less so. So, from a top end perspective, like meta grind and stuff. So yeah, it looks like the buff program, the final point to get to is the buff program seems to be kickstarted. I'm not going to say it's like back now, and it's because this basically since the Iceman buff, is it the Iceman buff? That's 2 champions effectively this year. Is it 2 champions this year? No, wait, it's 4. So I just had a look back, and I'm pretty certain it's Iceman, it's Classic Spider-Man, it's Hulk, and Iron Man. So 4 so far this year. So if we're looking at 4, if we're looking at 4 champions per year, it kind of feels like, well, we're still off with the amount that we really require in order to get some of the other ones. Like if we're doing 4 a year, it could be at least 6 years. So prepare for 2029 when all old champions that were listed in that list that we saw will be buffed. So the buff program is sort of alive, but it's been very quiet since Kabam announced released the Iceman one, which was earlier on this year. So yeah, the buff program somewhat alive. Thoughts in the comment section. Make sure to check out some other content, and I'll see you all soon. Have a great day. Bye bye.